Le Poisson Rouge, a multimedia art cabaret or music venue here in New York City, has booked artists like Lady Gaga, Charlie XCX, and Yo-Yo Ma throughout its history, as it's made a name for itself, of course, in the music scene. Its founder is making some music of his own. Joining me now with more is David Handler. He's the founder of LPR, and he is a composer. David, welcome to the Stock Exchange.
Thanks so much. It's pleased to be here.
It's great to have you here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A new album on the way.
Thanks very much.
What can you share with our viewers?
I would say that a lot of the same muscles and sensitivity that it takes to run a good business is at work when making art, or at least for me, they're very similar. A lot of being big-hearted, ambitious, having a high risk tolerance, I think is all has served me well in both spheres. And I think because LPR is such a passion project, it brought me back full circle to where it all began, which is as a violinist at a very young age. I was 3 years old when I started playing, and this is a chance for me to come back to my own voice after being sort of in the service of others for a really long time, and happily doing so.
What's the best way for our viewers to connect with your new album and music?
I've made 5 films that accompany each track on the album. So on YouTube are all 4 out of those 5 films, the last of which will be available on Friday when the album drops. So if you like listening with your eyes as well, I would say David Handler Music on YouTube, and then Spotify, Apple Music, and all the places you usually get your music. The tracks themselves will be on Friday. And there's a really cool vinyl package for those who are really retro and like the art object of an LP. That's also going to be available on Friday via Bandcamp at David Handler Music.
LPR, a very popular spot here in the city, still an independent music venue, if you will.
Last of the Mohicans, or one of them.
What are the trends that you're seeing right now in this space?
I think what I'm most encouraged by are that the fundamental tenets that made LPR what it was to begin with are really still held dear. I mean, we have a very passionate and curated programming. There's really bespoke sight and sound, acoustic treatment. No expense was spared on how an artist looks and feels and how it feels to be an audience member. I think also being able to encourage artists to take chances and collaborate with not so typical fellow artists or try new material. We even have our own orchestra to accompany artists. So there's room in the sandbox, especially when you're working with independents, to do more interesting things, arguably, certainly less stock offerings. And I think everybody wins in that situation. Definitely the public does. As
we look to the summer, what are some of the big marquee events or performances that you're looking forward to?
I can take, if you don't mind. It's easier for me to pull them up. Yeah.
Probably many people, tourists coming, they would be interested in going
absolutely.
to LPR.
Yes, we have such a wide range, as is emblematic for us. So Godspeed You Black Emperor at Pioneer Works. John C. Reilly, the actor, is also doing a spoken word and cabaret performance there as well. Jim Jarmusch, also in the film business, known as film director. 6 sold-out Sasha Velour nights, which she's been doing, I think it's 2 years running now. That's a great one for people visiting New York and wanting to have a rip-roaring kind of good time. And Black Moth Super Rainbow, UB40, a little throwback of UB40 to at King's Theater. So lots of good stuff coming up. And the space is hallowed ground. Everybody from Jimi Hendrix to Janis Joplin, Nina Simone, Miles Davis have all played that space, The Doors. We pay close attention to how that curated experience can differentiate us as independents. This is certainly enough big box approach to live music, and it has its place, but so does the independent spirit. It's particularly important.
A very popular spot here, certainly in the city for any of our viewers watching outside of the tri-state area. My final question to you, David, is, we talk a lot about technology and artificial intelligence down here at the Exchange. How are those technologies making their way into your business?
That's a good question. I think that AI in culture is obviously somewhat of or in art can be somewhat of a divisive subject. It's definitely being used to generate material, but I think that it's most interesting when truly collaborated with. I think when people get lazy and they start doing less thinking for its ability to do more thinking, then we have a problem. But as long as the humans aren't getting dumber or getting, maybe inspired more by the generative capability in art,
Yeah.
I think it's exciting. We have embraced technology through, I think we're one of the first blockchain ticketing venues, maybe in the country. And there it's much about bringing artists and audiences closer together and to try and allow that relationship to flourish. It helps marketing, it helps audiences find their artists and vice versa. And I think that that's really healthy and ultimately what we need in order to be able to have some room where that relationship between artist and audience is not leveraged by, bigger gain or necessarily like bigger business. There's room for that.
David, you'll have to join us again. I think you've got great insight, definitely in this space and on this topic. And of course, a new album dropping. That's David Handler. He's the founder of LPR and composer here in New York City. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time.